I'm sorry. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Living Single, Faithful, and Fulfilled. And on this episode, we're talking about friendships. So what about your friends in your single season? I want to know, what about your friendships? Okay, so we're talking about it on this episode. And I've invited two of my nearest and dearest to join this video with me. All right, and so I'm going to have them introduce themselves and tell you their age. And they're also going to tell you how long they've been single. All right.
Hi guys, my name is Maya. I am 37. I'm originally from Houston and I've been single for 37 years because I have not been married.
My name is Elaine. I am 38 years old. I'm originally from Austin, but I live in Houston, and I've been single for 3.5 years. That's been my last serious relationship.
All right, so, and the people need to know, girls, how long have we been friends?
10 plus years.
10 years.
10 years.
So let me just say, these are some new friends. I didn't just meet them. Although we are open to new friends, these are not new friends, all right? We've been friends for a long time. And I also want to say this. You might hear noise in the background, birds chirping, water, everything going on. We're in Costa Rica. We've traveled together for my 35th birthday. And so you just bear with us, okay? If you hear a bird, just start singing out of nowhere. Just keep that in mind, all right? So we have, Maya says 37 years single, never been married. And some other ladies might feel exactly like Maya, like, hey, listen, I ain't never been married, so I'm single. I've been single my whole life, okay? And then like Elaine, you might say, well, it's been 3.5 years for me, all right? But I want to just say, my girls want to be married, okay? Yes. All of us are on here. We love the Lord and we want to be married, but we are currently single. So I invited them to join the channel with me. So as I said, we're in Costa Rica, and I would ask both of you, just share really quickly, what would you tell someone who's looking to travel but they haven't yet? Like, they've been holding back and they just haven't planned that first trip. What would you tell them?
The first thing I would tell them definitely is to get a passport. If you don't have a passport, you can't really travel. Well, you can't travel abroad. So you limit yourself in where you can go if you don't have a passport. So go ahead and get a passport, get it started. Once you get the passport, then you start to think, well, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? What do I want to see? And then from there you can decide, hey, where do I want to go? I want to do this. And then you'll ask a friend, hey, where have you been? Where could I go? Do you want to go with me? Right. So you have to get the basics, which is a passport, and that gets you started for where you want to go.
I love that. So get you a passport, all right? If you want to go abroad, you need a passport, okay? What about you, Maya?
And I would say step 2 is to start a small savings account. With me as an educator, I don't have a lot of money, right? And so starting out as an educator, my excuse was always I don't have enough money. Yes. So I advise everybody who's starting out is just open up a bank account, say $50 here, $100 there, and even if you don't know where you're going, you'll still have the abundance of money just sitting there, so it'll really encourage you to just take a chance and travel.
Absolutely. So rule number 1, if you have not traveled and you want to travel, first step in traveling and having a successful vacation or just a good experience, prepare. You need money and you need a passport, okay? You can't travel without both, all right? And so the next question I want to ask you ladies is, what has traveling taught you about yourself? Like, what have you learned about yourself through your traveling experiences?
We've traveled a lot, but for some reason this experience in Costa Rica has opened my eyes to something that I really didn't know about myself. I have control issues, ladies. And so when we were on the horse, I was very scared. It was my first time being on a horse. And the reason why I had an issue with the horse and even flying is because I don't have control of anything. And so this trip has allowed me to really just trust in what God has for me and to give that control and that trust to Him.
That's good.
The biggest thing I've learned is that I'm an introverted extrovert. So I am totally okay with doing a lot or doing nothing at all. And I'm totally fulfilled either way. Yesterday we went zip lining, horseback riding, went to the spa, hot springs. Today we relaxed, we had a nap, we went to the beach. And I am so totally happy with every single thing that we've done. So it doesn't always have to be so planned, and it doesn't always have to be just nothing. So I realized that I could be okay by myself, or I could be okay doing a lot and doing the most.
Yeah, I think that's important too. And I really love how you two made that point. Like, I believe traveling teaches you a lot about yourself. every experience, every travel experience that we had, because these are my travel buddies, okay? Everywhere I go, I'm either going with one of them or both of them. So everywhere I travel, I've traveled with these two ladies, and I think that we learned some more about our friendship, and we also learn more about ourselves. You know, you learn that, hey, you know what, I need a little bit more time in the morning. Like, don't bother me, right? Because if you're single, you're living alone, and you don't have to see or know these things. But I just think that traveling teaches you a great deal about yourself, and as they shared, it's taught them some things too. All right, so what advice would you give to someone wanting to travel with other people? How do you pick your travel buddies, like your travel friends? How do you pick those people?
You have to know yourself, really. Some people are really good with a lot of people, making sure, okay, I have to have at least 20 people with me. I have to have a team. We're going to get a yacht and we're going to just live it up. But if you're not a people person, that's not a good plan for you. So for me, I rather travel with smaller groups because I can intimately talk to my friends. With big groups, you can't really do that. So you really have to know who you are and what you like.
I think that's good.
That's a good one. I could say that as well. Just in general, in traveling with friends, I do have quite a few friends, and these girls are the ones that I travel with all the time. And I just say for people wanting to travel with friends, just however you can make it happen. You know, we'll just get together, we'll decide where we're gonna go, and then we'll make it happen. So a lot of times I travel with these girls because we make it happen. We decide, you know what, this is pretty cool. Have y'all been to Costa Rica? No, let's go to Costa Rica. And so it's more than just a talk about it. We actually make plans to do it. And so that's how I choose when I travel and who I travel with.
I love that. So we're traveling sisters, or at least that's our hashtag. And what would you say to people why is friendship important? Like, why, and 37, 38 years of living, what have you found? Why is traveling, or why are friendships so important, just in life in general and really in your single season? What would you say about that?
I think friendships help build character because through friendships, you find out who you are, you find out who you aren't, you find out what you do and don't like. And like, some people wait till they get in relationships maybe to figure out what they do and don't like. But a lot of those things you find out just in your interaction with your friends, and you also learn how to deal with different people and different personalities. We all have different personalities. We're all great and wonderful people, but we all have our own things, and you have accountability partners. The one thing I love about my friends is that they give me accountability. If I'm tripping, they'll say, hey, Elaine, you're tripping, and knowing that you have a bond. And when you have a true bond with people and true friendships, if somebody's telling you something, I don't ever take it offensively as if you're trying to harm me or hurt me. You're really looking out for me. And so I really value those friendships, just in everyday life. And they help you with everything.
That's good.
I grew up as a single child, and so I didn't have that core group. It was, just mainly me and my mom when I was growing up. And so friendships were always important to me because those were my sisters. Like, if I'm doing anything, the first thing I'm going to do is call my sisters, my sister friends, because I could talk to them about anything. I know that with me, I can be an introvert as well. But there are moments where I need encouragement. Sometimes I cannot self-motivate myself. And so I use my core group of sister friends to motivate me and to encourage me to push forward. If I'm going through a season, it's hard to do it by myself. And so I reach out to my core friends. It's really important because some of us can get in a dark place when we're by ourselves. But if you have positive, godly friends, sister friends, they can definitely help you pull out of that.
And I love that Maya said that, because I've had some of my YouTube viewers just talk to me about being alone in life and not having friendships. And I know how much value they add to your life. And sometimes we know that God separates us from people, but I also just want to say, be open to the people that God brings in your life. I've been friends with them for 10 years, but I also have friends that I've been friends with for 20 years. And it doesn't determine how strong the friendship is. You can meet some people, this year of your life. If you're one of those people struggling in friendships, you might just meet someone this year and they be the best person that God's ever sent to you. And so with that, I really want to address the next question, and I've had this on my YouTube channel. What do you do when God separates you from friendships? Like, have you both experienced that? And what did that tell you? What did that teach you when God kind of separated you from some friends?
I would say for me, there was a time where God separated me from a friend, and I thought we've been friends since my freshman year in college. I've known them for, like 20 years. And how could it be that, we're not friends? We're supposed to be friends forever and ever and ever, because we've been friends for so long. But sometimes you also have to realize that you've grown and they've grown, and you may not have necessarily grown in the same areas, and it just pulls you apart to where you're not friends. And so the one thing I do value is that my friends do add value to my life. So if there's a friend that you've lost, when you look at it, you have to see if God removed them, maybe they're not adding enough value, or they're not adding to you in a way that God wants. And so he has to remove them so he can allow you to see that you're okay without these people. Because ultimately, my first friend is God, Right. And so, but he helps you to realize who is really in your corner. And sometimes that means losing a friend. And that doesn't mean that they're a bad person or you're a bad person, but just sometimes your paths just go different ways.
That's very true. I went through a situation where I did lose a friend I thought would be there forever. College friend, just like Elaine. So I realized that, and to be very transparent, I still don't really know the reason why we're not friends, but God knows, and I just have to trust that there is a reason behind that. Sometimes we say some friendships and relationships are seasonal, and you don't really know who's seasonal until they leave, right?
Yeah,
so you can't really prepare, okay, this friend is going to be a season, so let me not get too close, And so I know I definitely have grown with that. I know sometimes I may trust people too much, and so God has allowed me to just not get over it, just to trust the process. Some people are going to be there for the lifetime. Some people will not. I know, just like Elaine said, the other friends, I actually think she's an amazing person. Like, so many things about her I admire. And I think that she feels the same way about me. It was for a season. It was a long season, but it definitely was a season.
And what would you all say to encourage someone who lost a friend? I mean,
I would, first and foremost, losing any relationship is really hard. It's especially a long friendship. That's almost like losing a relationship, like with a mate, boyfriend.
Family.
So it's like, and it's a family. It's almost like someone in your family is gone. Yeah. So the first thing I would definitely do is, ask God to give you peace about the situation, and ask Him to help you understand. Even if you don't understand fully, but understand why. For me, I had to look back and say, well, what truly did they add to me as a person for me to feel valuable, for me to feel like I'm even a good friend to them? And when I realized that portion of the relationship had diminished, then I was okay with moving forward, because I know at this point in time, our season is up and we don't have enough to give to each other to remain friends.
And I would say when that happens for you, don't force the relationship to come back together, because if God says no, you really need to take heed, because if you're trying to force a relationship that's not supposed to be there, it is going to be detrimental to you. Like, you may be angry one day because they may say something that's inappropriate, or you may say something that's inappropriate to them. So you really have to trust that there's a reason. You may not even know, like, I still really don't know why I'm not friends with this person, but God knows why we're not friends. So you just really have to trust and just say, you know what, God, please soften my heart towards this person. When I see this person, I don't want to have any ill feelings, but Lord, please replace her with somebody else.
Yeah, I think that's so good. And I love what they said. You really have to just say, was this a valuable relationship? Is the season over? But I also want to encourage some people who are watching to do a self-check. Is it that you did something, or that you could have done something better? When you don't have peace about it, then sometimes it's God saying that there's something that He wants you to look at for yourself. There's something that He wants you to change, because not always is it the other person. And these relationships, and just because these are my friends, I know that it wasn't them. It wasn't stemmed from things that they've done. But there are times when we lose relationships because we weren't everything we should have been in that relationship. So I think you have to take time and be real with yourself about what happened, and is it something that God is telling you, hey, you need to fix this, or is He saying just let it go and have peace about the relationship being over? All right, and so I don't want to be before you too long, and obviously this is Living Single, so we want to talk about singlehood and just being single, because we're all single. And so I want to ask my two friends about their single place. And so my first question is, what do you enjoy about being single?
I do enjoy being able to do what I want to do.
Yes.
I do enjoy not having to get permission to go travel with my sister friends.
Yeah.
I do enjoy, the money that I do have. That is really what I can do whatever I want to do with that, with that money. I like the independent part. I'm able to do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. I can not cook one night or three. So it has its advantages. It has its good points.
Absolutely. I'm like that. Oh, yeah. I just want cereal tonight. No, a sandwich, a boiled egg. Yes, lunch. Okay, what about you?
I really co-sign with pretty much everything Maya says. Just the freedom of not necessarily having to consider someone else when you decide to do what you want to do. So if I want to go on a trip, and even if it's a last minute trip, I don't have to be concerned about how somebody else is going to feel with me leaving them for 3 or 4 or 5 days, or just having to check in, or just dealing with those different things. But for the most part, yeah, it's just more so the freedom of not having to. Not that I wouldn't want to, but just that I don't have to.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the next one. This is the one.
nervous, I'm
All
nervous.
right. What do you hate about being single? What do you dislike?
Oh, so
Like y'all got all night.
I need some notes. One of the things that I don't like, and it's kind of like an oxymoron, is not having that person to check in with. And I know I just said that I don't want to have to check in with somebody, but I love the idea that there's somebody waiting to make sure that I'm okay. And that's one of the things that I hate about being single. If I go home, I could text y'all and say, "Hey, girls, I made it home," but y'all aren't gonna text back, "Okay, I love you, good night."
I might be asleep.
Or sleep. Are you right? All right.
Like in the morning, girl, I'm glad you made it, girl.
Exactly. I miss that someone to care about you, and the someone to, that genuinely wants to know that you're okay. So they want to know. And, a lot of times, even in relationships, you think, oh, well, maybe I can't do this. I want someone to bounce ideas off of. I even want to argue sometimes, I want to make up.
Yeah, she feisty.
I want to, have dialogue, and I just miss the closeness, that's the intimacy in a relationship. And I'm not talking about sex, ladies. I'm just saying the closeness of being connected to a different person, another person, and growing in that manner.
Absolutely.
I can ditto that, and I want to really speak about the motivating part. Like when I'm dating somebody, I really involve them in all of my life. It could be education, it could be my finances, it could be anything. And so having somebody there to like, hey, what do you think about this? And God has blessed me with not having too many men who are horrible. So they're pretty good guys who really actually have invested in my ministry, as far as my nonprofit, my traveling. Just they have really invested, and so I do miss that part of having an encourager that you can do whatever. What are you talking about? You can't do this. You've done X, Y, and Z. So they remind me of how awesome I am.
Your personal cheerleading team.
Hey, so I miss that part of being in a relationship with someone.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we're all here on the same playing field. Obviously, I love being single because I like me. I love me. I like my time by myself.
Yes.
But I love community. I love fellowship. I love people. I'm a people-oriented person. And I don't know if anyone's ever taken the 5 love languages. If you're watching the video, I find that my love language is quality time. So when I'm with someone, I actually love being able to spend time with them. And so that's really good and important to me. And you don't have that, obviously, if you are single. And your friends aren't always available, so sometimes they're like, girl, I'm trying to get out, I'm trying to be social, but when you're they have a date. So like you better watch Lifetime. And so I miss that sometimes in being single. But that leads me to my next question about what do you feel like God has revealed to you about yourself during your single season that you feel like it's important for you going into a relationship?
That's a good one. So many things. Can I not go first?
Okay, sure.
I need to.
I will say this, and we've been talking about on this trip, this just about it being a season of growth. And I just want to say that God has revealed to me so each year he reveals something different. As I grow and mature as a woman, he teaches me something different about myself. So for a while, it was that I was really spoiled. thank God, you know. But one of my really good guy friends would always say, you know, you spoil, right? And it ain't all about you. And I'm like, what? You mean to tell me it's not all about me, right? And so jokingly I would say that, but I think to some degree I would act as if it was, and I wanted everything to go my way. But God matured me, so as I continue to mature, God's revealed some things to me. Another thing is that I was a bad communicator, and I will say that in terms of when I get upset, I just want to avoid it, right? I just didn't want to talk about it. But God showed me that you cannot have an effective relationship that way, because in my friendships, I don't avoid it. I would say, hey, I didn't really like that when you said that, like, and we talk through it. And so through my friendships, and that's why this video is on friendships, I think if you allow your friends to teach you things that they can help you in your relationships, so they've helped me to see how to better communicate. The same way I communicate with my friends is how I should communicate with my mate. Ultimately, they will be a friend, right? And so that's what God taught me through my single season.
Like, I wish I had some of Elaine's spiciness, because when I'm dating somebody, I tend to hold in what I'm annoyed by, and of course that you bottle that up and then you explode, right? So communication is something that I definitely have learned that I need to work on. So for example, if someone doesn't take the trash out for like Monday through Friday and you don't say anything on Saturday, you're exploding. And so communication is so important, because I am an introvert, extrovert. I do hold things in. So he's definitely revealed that to me. And also, you know what, honestly, transparently, I may give my heart too soon. And
that's
so
good.
that may be coming from maybe a little bit of insecurity. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. But I feel like I may give my heart too soon to people who have not proven that they
That's so good.
deserve that heart. And so he's definitely revealed that to me recently.
I love that. That's good.
I like that too. Now you've helped me answer my question just a little bit better. One thing I think that's helped me is to be more patient. Because like Maya mentioned, and because she's my friend, she can tell me that, and it's the truth. Sometimes I'm just like, and I may like harp on every little thing. And one of the things that I did realize is that I can't harp on all of the little things, you know, and I have to pick and choose when to really be upset. And I've even had conversations with Antoinette, and she's like laughing at me one day, and I'm like, why are you laughing? She was like, you really got upset about that? It's not that serious. And, you know, I'm like, what do you mean? And then later on I was like, it may not have been that bad, you know. And so I think patience is one thing in a relationship, just because, you know, the expectations or things. And then also I love hard, and so when I do decide to love someone, I'm totally giving my all. And not that it's a bad thing. I've decided that it can't be a bad thing if that's who I am and that's who God's placing on my heart to be. However, I do feel like sometimes I probably need to be a little bit more cautious in how soon I rush into, you know, really liking somebody and really feeling them, you know, and give them an opportunity to prove to me that they're worth all I can give. Because I feel like in some of my relationship, people have taken advantage of the fact that I'm so giving and so nice. And they're like, oh, she's always going to be there. It's okay, you know. So.
And I love both of the points that they made, especially about giving up yourself too soon. And I know the older we get, especially because we're all in our 30s, mid to late 30s at this point, we desire relationships so much more. We want to be married. I already said that in the beginning. And so sometimes we're like, this must be the one. And I want to give to him because I'm amazing. And he needs to know that I'm amazing.
It's the truth.
And it's the truth, right? And so we all want to say, look, and I'm like, you know, sometimes we jump in head first because we want the man to see that and we want to rush things, but we need to just pull it back, because if it's God's relationship for us, it'll happen and it'll evolve the way that it's supposed to. So I want to say, that's what I wanted to say about that. And I also wanted to add, in every part of it, as you mature and you grow year after year, be asking yourself and asking God, Lord, what is it that you're trying to show me? Because I'm not married yet. You clearly have me single for a reason. So what do you want to teach me about me? Help me to work on those things so I'm not coming into a relationship with all these issues, because every time a relationship ended, I'm pointing the blame at everybody else, right? So we got to be open to that. So the next thing that I wanted to ask you both is, what are you looking forward to next in your single season? As God has you single, what's the next thing you're looking forward to?
towards December, God revealed to me that this year is going to be a year of growth for me. Not that it's going to be a year of like bad things happening, but growth. And growth is uncomfortable.
It is.
And so this year, I am believing that I will be promoted into a counseling position.
Amen.
And a homeowner. And
Y'all
so
join us in
that's-
prayer for
yes,
that.
Please do. So it's been years that I've been, that's been on my list. But I really believe that this is the year, and so I'm trusting that's going to happen this year for me.
We stand in agreement.
Yes. 2017 was just a little bit of a rough year for me. I just had a lot going on, family things, and it was just a very trying year. So just in general in life, I'm really just looking forward to everything great that's coming. I want to believe that the things that are for me are coming. I feel it. I've been put through the test. I've been, faithful. I've been praying, and I've been, sticking out. So I'm really just excited to see what's next. I don't know what's next, but I do, for my singleness, I want to really enjoy it while it's there, because one thing when I talk to like married people, they'll say, enjoy your singleness while you can. And I understand for the things that we say that, we don't like about being single, but those are the things that, we have to work on in our singleness so that we can be great in relationships. So I'm just looking forward to enjoying this single time instead of so consumed with, am I going to get married, or who is he going to be, or he could be it, or he could be it, and just, really living in the moment and being fulfilled while I'm single.
Yeah, I'm much like Maya. I'm looking forward to a season of growth. I'm also looking forward to trying new things and just being open and ready, as Elaine said, to whatever God has for me. And I want to encourage the other singles that are watching to be open to receive whatever God has for you, because when you are open to receive, you will be surprised at how you can even look at your trying times as blessings, right? You can even look at that as a lesson, something God's teaching you. The more open we are to receive from God, the more grateful we are, and the more blessed we feel with our life. And so I'm looking forward to trying things I've never tried. Listen, Maya talked about this horse ride thing. Y'all look forward to my inspirational video about fear, because I'm talking all about this horse ride, and I posted on my Instagram story, and I'm like, our horse riding adventure, but did you die though? Like, y'all cannot believe it's so crazy. So I'm just really just open to taking fear head on, not letting it hold me back. I want to be open to exploring things I wouldn't before. And just whoever God has for me, I'm like, Lord, bring them, bring whatever. I want all that you have for me. So our last question is, what does it mean to be living single, faithful, and fulfilled? What does that mean to both of you?
Well, just being single, of course, naturally we're single, but being faithful and being fulfilled, I feel like being faithful, meaning being faithful to God and believing that He's going to bring you what's for you, is important. And I think in accepting that and being able to live in your faithfulness for God and what He has, it'll bring you fulfillment.
Amen.
So, I feel like, you can't be fulfilled if you're still lacking for something. So just being faithful and saying, God, I'm lonely tonight. I need you to bring me comfort. I need you to bring me peace. God, I really want, to go on a date. And God saying, hey, I'm not ready for you to go with this guy, but guess what? Antoinette will call and say, hey, let's go to dinner. I'm like, well, it's a date. Let's go, just being able to, like you said, be open about it. And, in your singleness, it's not such a bad thing. Everybody kind of sees it as, oh, I'm single, woe is me. But it's actually a really good thing. And as long as you stay faithful to God in it and ask Him for His help, He'll help you to be fulfilled in it.
That's so good.
I would say to live.
Yeah.
We don't want the word single to place us in this, okay, I'm just going to stay home and I'm just going to continue to pray for my husband, even though you should, but that should not be your only focus. And so living single and faithful for God, you get busy either in the kingdom, either in your own ministry, either in your business, either in your job. Really focus on developing who you are, because there's a lot of people that I know who did get married at a young age and they were not fully developed. And so I'm taking this time really this year, like the end of 2017 and like now, and I know for the rest of the year I'm really going to be focusing on developing who I really am. I see this person and I see this vision of who I am, and I haven't gotten there yet. And so I'm using this single time is to get to that person. God wouldn't place a vision of who I am if that's not going to happen, or if he's not going to provide the resources that I need to get to that person. So I'm using this season of singleness is to live and to just develop who I am.
Yeah, and so I love their responses, and I hope that spoke to you all who are watching. Living single is all about living, right? We are living our lives, doing everything God said. Do it in this season, travel in this season, like whatever you want to do in this season is your time to live. It doesn't mean living stops when you get married, but you don't want to miss the opportunity to fully live while you're single because you're waiting to be married. And being faithful to God. Like I said, this is all about honoring God. And how do we honor God in our single season? My sisters are Christians. We're women of God. And we just really believe in living a life that honors God. And you can do that and have a fulfilling life. You can do that and have fun with your girlfriends. You can do that and still feel like I'm not missing out on anything. So I just want to thank y'all so much for tuning in today to watch Living Single, Faithful and Fulfilled. I'm Antoinette.
I'm Maya.
And I'm Elaine.
And until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed.
Bye.
So cute.